Hopefully this might help someone if you want to flush your Westerbeke 30B engine or similar. I could not get the drain plug out. Yes, I tried everything under the sun, and I have successfully removed many stuck bolts. There's supposed to be a brass drain plug in there, but it wasn't. It was a galvanized plug, and it was rusted solid. So I went to Plan B. Plan B is flushing the system. Before I forget, you will have to take out the thermostat. Hopefully this will help someone. It takes quite a bit of time, but no kind of extraordinary experience or engineering talent is necessary. Okay, hope this helps. So the process is simply to connect a garden hose to the heat exchanger and push water through the heat exchanger, back up through the pump, through the engine block, and back to what would have been the return to the heat exchanger. It's necessary to take the thermostat out because the thermostat is not going to be open because the water is cold. So the process again was first flush with regular water from a garden hose, then flush that water out with distilled water using a small 12-volt pump. And then, because we know the volume, which is approximately a gallon on this engine, we have a gallon of distilled water in there. So by adding a gallon of 100% concentrate antifreeze, in theory, we're going to end up with a 50-50 mix, which then checking with the hydrometer turned out to be pretty close. So first flush with hose, then flush that water with distilled water using a pump, a small 12-volt pump, pulling the distilled water out of a bucket, and then put antifreeze in that bucket, suck that antifreeze using the same pump through the engine, and then put the hoses back the way they're supposed to be. So the big project is simply making adapters, finding a suitable place to break the coolant loop, putting adapters which will allow you to hook a garden hose to one side and a drain hose to the other side. And in this case, it's a British engine, and I don't know, but I believe it's some kind of metric hose size, which was slightly bigger than 1 inch, but not as big as 1 1/4 inches. So I used 1 1/4 inch tubing. I heated it up with a heat gun and then tightened it with hose clamps so it didn't leak. So I don't know if the voice is going to come through. Basically the drain comes off of the manifold, whatever you want to call the radiator cap piece. The water goes into the heat exchanger, which you can't see very well, and this pipe was bent under heat. I put a 3/4 inch pipe inside that bend to make sure the bend didn't kink. That's about it, and then just some pipe reducers. You could probably do a lot neater job. Turns out that I used 1 1/4 inch pipe, but these are apparently some kind of metric connections. Here's the original pipe that connects those two pieces, and it's bigger than 1 inch but smaller than 1 1/4 inches. So anyway, maybe this will help somebody figure out how to flush a Westerbeke 30B engine if you can't get the drain plug out. which was the case for me. Tried it with an impact wrench, with all the techniques that everybody tells you. And I have removed lots of stuck bolts, but this one wasn't coming out.